Holy shit, I suck at running. That's a good pace, right? I told you in the last video that I'm doing the Dr. Peter Attia cardiorespiratory protocol for elite athletes. If you don't know what the protocol is, it's actually rather simple. It's 4 sessions a week. Each of these sessions is at least 40 minutes in length of zone 2 training. Then once a week, you're gonna do a VO2 max training, which is basically 4 rounds of 4 minutes on and 4 minutes off. The on is basically all-out effort. The most power you can consistently produce for that 4-minute time span. This is a fun little tangent that you'll appreciate. Back in college, I was so broke that I signed up for a human study, like a trials program where they, you know, those things where you test like pills or makeup or something like that. And basically it screws up your life and then you're paid like $500. I did one of these, but it was for VO2 max protocols, and I can't remember the specific, but it had something to do with hockey and how much the average person, how much power the FTP a person could produce. And I had to go in and ride a special kind of stationary bike, and it was 3 minutes on, twice, just 2 rounds of 3 minutes. And when I tell you that was the most physically exhausted I've ever been, you couldn't walk, you just puked, and then your legs couldn't fit in the pants that you wore there. I think I've been in here for like 6 minutes. I've been doing my zone training every single day, every single week, and I've been doing it on a stationary bike. I gotta tell you, even though it's low impact and it doesn't hurt my knees or my back or my neck, it's boring as hell and it makes my junk feel kind of weird. What else can I do instead of the stationary bike? Oh, I used to swim. I love swimming. But then I remembered that it's super inconvenient to find a pool nearby where there's an open lane and it's not just chock full of oldies with saggy Speedos always running into you because they're not watching what they're doing. Maybe road biking. Instead of being on a stationary bike, get a road bike. And I was like, okay, do you really want to spend thousands of dollars just to get killed by some teenager that's scrolling through Instagram as she hits you in the middle of an intersection? Running is really the only viable option. Delicious. So I'm in a dilemma because I just don't understand how people have fun running. I don't get it. I need to call in an expert.
You'll have this on your mouth. You do. It's off now. I think it was just a little bit of toothpaste. It's fine.
All right, so I am here with the expert, my wife. And by expert, I mean she runs more than 3 miles at a time. That's what I consider an expert.
Oh, okay.
Is the bar pretty
That's
low?
a low bar.
So you started running, again, it's something you used to do, but you haven't done for a long time.
Yeah.
And it seems like you're enjoying it.
Yeah.
And that makes no sense to me.
I know. I used to run a lot. When I first got out of rehab, I ran for like 2 years. That was my primary form of exercise. I did 10Ks, I did half marathons, I did triathlons, and then I just stopped running when I found like weightlifting and CrossFit and stuff. When I tried to pick it back up over the years, and I have tried, I felt like maybe running just wasn't for me because I would go out and try to do a mile and I would bonk at like a quarter mile or a half mile. I couldn't even run a full mile. And so I just thought, maybe I'm not meant to run. Something just hit me where I was like, why am I trying to run my old pace that took me years to build up to? What if I just ran slower? And it was fun. And I was like, this is the key.
So going slower was the thing that made it fun.
Yes.
When you started running again, you were like super stoked because you went to like a store and got shoes or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't even have a pair of running shoes.
Yeah.
I just have Air Maxes.
This is what people always ask me, like, well, what shoes are best for hiking? And I'm like, the shoes that are best for your feet. So I went to Salt Lake City running store here. And like, there are running stores all over the country. But if you go to a running store, they will analyze your gait on a treadmill. They'll tell you, do you pronate? Do you...
Supinate.
Supinate. Thank you. I couldn't think of the opposite. And then they will pick a shoe that is right for your foot, your goals, your terrain, your health context. And for me, that made a huge difference too. I was fit into a pair of Sauconys that I would never have picked out myself in a size that was bigger than I would have picked out myself, and they've been perfect. So go to a running store and let a pro actually help you and advise you.
Gonna try one of these and one of these. Maybe one of those hot pink Nikes. And then this guy. And then this guy as well. I never.
11.5.
Correct terminal changes.
For feel. Here are these. Those are cheap.
I just finished at the Salt Lake Running Club. I grabbed 2 pairs. I guess I really just committed to this whole running thing. So I think I'm gonna go home and run. That's like the weirdest thing I've ever said my whole life. Good morning. I know the video quality and audio quality sucks, but I'm not gonna run with a 5-pound camera system. I'm just using a GoPro. No hat, hair isn't done. But anyway, today the goal is to just run for an hour. I don't know how far I'm gonna go. No clue. Just gonna run for an hour. This is the weirdest thing I've ever done my whole life. Channeling my inner 70-year-old here and just trying to take it like real slow. I'm 3 minutes into it. So I'll check back in after I've made some decent progress. I'll see ya. Just got a notification on the Apple Watch that I finished my first mile, and it was like a 13-minute split. I gotta tell you, this is next to impossible to run this slow. Like, I'm literally going barely faster than a walk, and my heart rate is at like 152. So right now, I have no idea how I'm supposed to do zone 2 training for an hour. I can't even get my heart rate low enough for it. This is gonna be interesting. All right, I'll update you later. I just got the notification that I have tied my longest run of all time at 3 miles. It's really saying something. I got my heart rate down, 146, so that's an accomplishment. Okay, well, I just hit my goal. Ran for an hour, but I feel fine. So I guess, screw it. Just keep going, see what happens. So this is kind of crazy. Check this out. Two hours. So I doubled my goal. Pretty proud of that, actually. I mean, I'm at almost 8.5 miles. I've never ran this far, not even by a long shot. I'm in a lot of pain though. Sometimes it goes numb and I can just go. Sometimes it hurts pretty bad. But we're doing okay. Well, my headphone died. This is gonna get rough. I'm going though. I'm going. This might be my last one. I am at my breaking point. I don't know what I've done. I looked at my watch, didn't even see anything. 13.6 miles. Oh my God. That's a half marathon. I just ran fucking half marathon. At 10 miles, that was hard. 12 miles. That's the hardest thing I've ever done. I can't believe I did that. That's insane. Yeah, my legs are pretty fried from yesterday. I ran a half marathon yesterday. I've never ran more than 3 miles at a time. So it kind of blows my mind that I did it. When I told my wife, she just was like, wait a sec, what? When? Like, when did you do, why did you do this? I thought I was going to be a lot worse off today than I am. I'm actually moving around pretty good. It's just eccentric stuff on my left VMO is really spicy. I have a bunch of thoughts about yesterday's experience because it was not just like, oh, I did a long run. There were a lot of things that were going on in my head at the time. And so I want to share them. This isn't very scripted, but I do have some like talking points as to like why I did it. That's the big one. Like why? Well, one, I didn't know I was going to do it. Like I've never ran more than 3 miles. I did like a 5K like 4 years ago at Jim Jones, and that was it. And I've never ran an hour. And I thought it would be a cool title, thumbnail, interesting video of me doing another 5K, running an hour, and that would be an interesting video. So that's what it was. I set out that morning to do that. And I had no intention of running anything further than that because I'd just done a 6.5 hour road trip back home from Worlds. And I ate a ton of ice cream that night. So it's not like the condition to go out and run a ton of stuff. So when I got done with the hour, I was like, I feel really good. And instead of going, all right, well now I'll just Uber back because I was like 4 miles away from home, 4.5. I was like, just run back, right? Like you just beat your record. Maybe you just keep going. So I started running back home and I hit 2 hours. And not to get ahead of myself, but 2 years ago, if you've been watching this channel this long, you remember that I did a 75 hard. The 75 hard let me know that not only can I still do hard things, but I actually really like it. I've watched a couple weird documentaries on like David Goggins and like the Last Man Standing running documentaries, and there's no intention of doing anything like that, but I thought like just run until your breaking point. Run until you literally can't run anymore. So I kind of said, screw it, and I just went for it. I hit 13.6 miles, and I was like, dude, you just ran a half marathon. And when I thought those words, half marathon, running 10 miles, doing a marathon, all of that was literally impossible to me. I can't tell you how many times I've said to somebody, I don't run, and when they say they do a marathon or half marathon or anything with distance, I'm just like, that's impossible. There's no way I could do it. So I think the frustration of not being able to compete and then doing something that I thought was impossible, doing like a big hard thing, it was just like kind of overwhelming, emotional. I honestly kind of just like broke down on the side of the road there and kind of started sobbing out of joy, you know, but a real interesting experience. Will running work for zone 2? This is the whole point of this video, is to like, hey, I'm embracing running as a different means of doing zone 2. And what I've learned is that I think my heart is so well adapted to jiu-jitsu, which is all zone 3 for me, that like the moment I started to jog, it went from like 70 beats per minute to 150. And then it just stays there and it wouldn't come back down. I got it down to like 146. So I think that yes, it would work, but I'm going to have to like do other types of training to get it down low enough. I'm going to still run because I enjoyed it, but I think I'm going to still have to spin, right? I'm going to have to get on the stationary bike and ride that because it's so easy. And then I think I'm going to just do some more rucking, walking with some weight, or go for a really easy walk at a higher altitude. We are entering Techtober. and Techtember, where wearables and apps start like going crazy. One thing I'm personally working on right now is ditching my phone altogether and using my Apple Watch. So I used my Apple Watch to track the run as much as I love the Whoop, and it did a really good job of tracking my heart rate and the zones and whatnot. I can't rely on it for GPS. I'm not going to get miles or pace or anything like that. So I've been using my phone. I found an app called Eclipse. The app is kind of like a Whoop, an Athletic, or a Ring, all kind of smashed together, but on like a thoroughness level hitherto unseen. The amount of information you can dive into on just a single workout is pretty astonishing. So I'd love to do some more videos on it, but I've been using it for about a week and a half, and I'm still trying to take it all in. So if you want to see these videos that I'm going to be making, if you like this video, please do me a huge favor and just hit the like button, and then also subscribe because it's free. And if you really want to see those upcoming videos, you got to hit the notification bell. Sometimes YouTube doesn't let you, they don't notify you that that person came out with a new video. So if you hit that notification bell, you'll also be notified of those videos. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If anything else, you just found it entertaining, but I will catch you on the next one. Peace.